Okay, started. That's good.
The thoughts, opinions, and general overall shades thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck and Rico Lamitte, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us. Yeah, that's right. Good morning, guys. It is Tuesday, February 4th, and today is a National Homemade Soup Day. You have any thoughts on that? Yeah.
Yum. What kind of soup we talking about there, Jason?
Homemade soup, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not to be confused with talk soup.
Which hoe made it?
Oh, that's a good
I'm
question.
glad you said that, Jenny Beth.
Only I could say it. Rico looks uncomfortable. I even said it.
I think it's fantastic that you said it. Here's another one for you, Jenny. It's National Creative Vacuum Day.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute up.
What creative vacuum?
Create a vacuum. That's or
right.
Creative
vacuum? Create a vacuum.
Suck and suck. Sucky.
Yep. It's also National Thank a Mail Carrier Day today, you guys.
Oh, nice.
What?
Yep.
Paint?
Thank.
Mail carrier?
Thank.
Oh, thank. Okay. All right.
As in, like, hey, thank you, mail carrier, for delivering my mail every day, bringing me all these bills.
All these.
Now come here and let me paint you.
Big shout out to the USPS, man. We haven't torn that down.
While we still have it yet.
Right.
We're gonna have it. You guys are all. Thank goodness they got rid of that. The one thing.
Trump tried hard as hell to demolish that shit last term. I would not be surprised if that taken away.
He did not try to demolish it. If he tried to demolish it, it would have
been
demolished. But nonetheless, thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. You can look up above and down below to see exactly where we live on the internet. We are live every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, X, Instagram, Facebook, and now on LinkedIn and Kick as well as on our very own website at www.highat9news.com. So welcome to everyone joining us from any one of those platforms. And we are going to kick this off with the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte, the Quasimodo caretaker, the baby daddy specialist, and the dope dad himself. That's right, is none other than Mr. Rico Lamitte.
Oh, yeah, Jason. Happy Tuesday, brother.
Happy Tuesday, brother.
The story that Jesse Barney covered yesterday about Oregon essentially becoming the poster child for what not to let your state cannabis industry turn into. It all stemmed from an early decision to not put a cap on state-issued cultivation licenses. This led to a steady stream of oversupply, flooding the market. Consumers, but years of record low prices tend to put a hefty and possibly irreversible financial strain on legal growers and retailers. So how can the rest of America, or at least the states more prone to overproducing, avoid a similar fate? MJ Biz Daily's Rachel Wright suggests that Germany might have the answer. Wright was joined by guest columnists Simon Menkes and Falk Altenhofer, who say that U.S. cannabis cultivators have a prime opportunity to enter Germany's rapidly expanding market, which is Europe's largest, currently valued at over 1 billion euros or 1.03 billion US dollars annually. Though direct exports are not yet possible, American companies can legally establish partnerships with German distributors, pharmacies, and cultivation associations. The country's removal of cultivation quotas, strict quality regulations, and preference for premium products make it an ideal entry point for established U.S. brands, especially California and Oregon producers. An established success in Germany could serve as a gateway to broader and rapidly expanding EU market. With competition still relatively low, experts are saying that early movers can build strong brand recognition and position themselves for long-term success. And it all makes sense to me. Love 'em or hate 'em, California-born Cookies has established itself as a global brand by hopping into other nascent markets by way of non-cannabis dry goods and hemp derivatives more recently, making it much easier to be recognized by locals once legislation passes for them to officially open up shop. Germany is essentially a blank slate at this point, wishing to become Europe's premium market. This means that they're hungry for brand names to come in and give them the clout that they say they deserve. Sure, if you're a domestic brand known for a certain quality and integrity stateside, it might be a little different over there, and you will run the risk of diluting brand ethos. But at the end of the day, it is a bag, possibly a major bag, without all of the baggage that comes with operating in the chaos that we've come accustomed to here in America. It would definitely be a no-brainer for me. And I know that there are a few others on the show with us today on the team that are dabbling in the European market that I'd love to hear their thoughts on this one. So I want to hear what you guys are thinking. Germany, is it the premier play for American operators, whether they're struggling or not, to go over there and blow the fuck up? I'm Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High at 9 News. What do you think? No, Jenny Beth, if she's in the building. She's doing some things over there, right?
I think it's good for Germany. Oh, I think, they've always been pretty aggressive in the cannabis space, which, you got to love. And, the first European country to import and, they're doing it right, I think. And offering that to American brands, I think is just smart business.
Mm-hmm.
Opening the doors, man. They're saying, come on over. We're open for business.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think it's smart. I think it's going to blow up there just like it should, and how other people should treat.
Whoa. I come on and we say blow up. Come on,
blow
Todd.
Up. Yeah. I mean, that's the type of stories you like, Saman.
Saman, yeah.
We blow up in a good way.
Well, hey, we got to be careful, Todd. We got to be extra careful these days. Okay, I'm Guatemalan. Repeat after me. Saman is Guatemalan.
Oh God, stop!
Here you are. You better get your papers in order, Mr. Guatemala.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Saman is a valid U.S. citizen. I can attest to this.
Yeah,
I heard they got bounties out now, man. I don't know.
Your boy first born in America, okay, in the family.
Hey, anchor babies. Not to mention,
I brought Saman with me one time to Mar-a-Lago.
That's cool, but birthright's done, so there's that.
I'm on the list.
Germany.
I'm on the list.
What do you have to say, Jenny Beth, about Germany?
Birthright's gone left, huh?
Back to Germany. I think it's going to be. It's a good opportunity. It's not an easy opportunity, right? American operators, a lot of them are very sloppy. How many stories have we read this week about things that didn't actually pass testing? That's not going to necessarily fly over there. Meeting the manufacturing standards of the European market is a lot different than what you can do in a shed in Oklahoma. So, I think it's going to be a very large barrier to entry, and those that can be successful are going to be probably the MSO type brands. But good for them. Tyson's already has a presence over there with the One Plant guys and Adam. So I think that there are some U.S. operators that are doing a good job of penetrating the German market. But I don't think that it's going to be a one-size-fits-all fix for oversaturation in the U.S.
But an opportunity nonetheless, right?
For some, yeah.
Anytime somebody welcomes in cannabis brands, it's a good opportunity, right? Whether they run their business right or not, that's up to them, of course. But it's great that the country is opening up and there's open arms. Don't get that
I
often,
think.
you know.
Yeah, I think my point is just that to partner with pharmacies and to partner with companies in Germany that will be importing brands and taking in products, there's a large barrier to entry because your products are going to have to check a lot more boxes than they do here. So I think for some folks that are able to meet those manufacturing standards, amazing.
I wonder if with all these all this trade war shit that's going on right now, I wonder if there's going to be any penalties placed on companies looking to establish their American-born brands and expand them elsewhere. Is that something that you think would be on the mind of any producers looking to operate outside of the U.S. right now?
Interesting question. I don't think so. I mean, as long as they're still based in America, right?
Mhm.
Then I think it'll be okay.
Pull out your basters, guys. There's a lot of turkeys.
I got your lamb basters.
I got a question. I got a question for everybody here.
Go for it.
So, I came late. Sorry, I kind of caught the end of this.
But you came.
Key is coming.
Go on with it, Saman. Go on.
And Germany's an interesting market. So the medical market there and the medical market in the EU with these programs that are kind of like the adult use programs that are straddling this medical market. I don't know. This is a genuine question. What do you guys think is going to persist in like the German market? Is it going to be a medical product or is it going to be an adult use product? And why? Why do you think that? Love to ask.
I think the medical products are going to be the ones because that's the ones that they're putting the emphasis on the market, and they're building that customer base within Germany.
They're moving outside of medical, though.
Yeah, and the trap market's always going to thrive as far as in the adult use market because every country is going to try to overtax it and overregulate it. So you know what I mean?
So I asked this because when my understanding is of the GMP market. Where the facilities across the world that are pseudo GMP or quote unquote GMP, they're producing and they're sending products to Europe. So I want to know where that kind of line gets drawn as with regards to like the EU GMP standards, because obviously we know that that's the barrier way higher, like Jenny was saying, than what we have here, which is just simple health departments passing that. That already has a level of complexity. You have to make sure your standards are there, your facilities cleanable, walls, floors, everything, ceiling. So the infrastructure and the build standards are pretty high, but like with GMP, they're a lot higher. So how many companies out there around the world can actually supply an actual EU GMP product right now? That's the biggest question in my mind. Is right now they're just allowing.
The companies in Colombia are providing that, and they're currently exporting into Germany. And then there's there's a handful of EU companies that are already producing and exporting into Germany, and so Canada.
Okay, Canada's to me like the one with the best shot of actually being EU GMP, but like
I think Colombia is actually the best shot because they have lower overhead costs.
It's not about cost, Jason. It's about standardization. It's about building standards, about facility standards, about protocols. I mean, I know that the Canadians, I know our cousins up there,
our new 51st state,
soon to be stepbrothers. I know that they have a real serious, steep hill decline when it comes to building their facilities and the standards that Health Canada imposes.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually may be EU GMP, but like the companies in around the African nations, around South America, around Latin America, I mean, where I want to see, and what I know of the German government or just of EU GMP protocols is those regulators from that country have to fly to those places that the product is being produced and actually put their eyes on it physically and say, yes, this is GMP or this meets our standards. So when do we think that's going to happen? Because that's going to be an interesting time. I mean, that's a real thing. I mean, they do it now for pharmaceuticals. So,
Jenny Beth, what do you have to say about this?
No, you couldn't argue with Saman anymore. I agree with Saman.
You agree with Saman?
I do 110%. I think that that's going to be a really difficult process. I think that it's very short-sighted. Yes, do they want American brands? Absolutely. When I was over in Germany, what were they smoking? Fucking Alien Labs and American brands. Now, was it the right flower in those Mylar bags? Probably fucking not, right? But like California brands and American culture is a large portion of what the world sees of cannabis, right? So do they want our brands? For sure. But that road is going to be a lot longer and a lot less exciting for some of these companies. I think it's going to be a big old fat wake up call for some folks when they try to take advantage of that opportunity.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I love it. I mean, yeah, right now it's just they're letting whatever kind of into play there. I'm pretty sure a lot of the companies that are claiming they're GACP or GMP probably aren't. But where does that end?
So
when is the moment where that ends?
You're saying they have an open borders policy, basically, Simone?
I'm saying that
EU does.
I'm saying
no, they don't.
There's a mega situation. There's a mega situation with regards to GMP cannabis in Germany. But we'll see. I'm watching closely, guys.
Fair enough. We're gonna keep watching ourselves as well. And speaking of whatnot, I think we're gonna go into our first commercial break. Are you ready, Rico?
Yeah, I was just laughing at I love Chris Brady's comment. I think everybody right now needs to impose tariffs on that like button.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Make sure you smash that like button. I know we'll appreciate it. You'll appreciate it, and you will appreciate it.
We'll pretend it wasn't us that fucked everything out. You know,
I mean, it's the American way. It never is. Whenever you're ready, we're rolling into our first commercial, and this is our improv version while we're waiting on the actual cut of the actual commercial.
As we wait for the X-prov.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
You fucking knee still hurting, Jason?
Easy there. Easy. Just relax, Jenny Beth. Hold on a second.
Cannabis operators waiting on a cut.
She's feeling left out. Jason, your knees still hating you, man?
Yeah, man, it's my left one, But I'll tell you what, I've been using this new CBD cream, and it works like a miracle.
CBD, huh?
Yeah.
OPP. I done heard about this CBD. I was on 4chan the other day.
Trying to sell converted
leaders. Hold on, Saman.
I was on 4chan the other day talking to some very, very vetted individuals, and they done told me, that shit don't get you high, man. High as a kite.
Well, not this stuff. This stuff is tested. Every batch, all the way through. Pharmaceutical grade. And in a GMP certified facility. So we can ship it to Germany too.
I was just going to say that.
Yes. So you're not going to have to worry about finding all that high stuff in there.
Won't get you high. It's GMP certified. Oh, my goodness. I might have to try me some of this out.
Yes.
Where am I supposed to get this, man? I heard they opened the Silk Road back up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you just go directly to aimhighhemp.com. That's AIMHIGHHEMP.com. And they will ship it to your door right away.
Ship it right to my door. Aim high. Shoot them low.
Tested. It's not just a brand, it's a promise.
Yes, it is.
And scene.
Yeah,
I like that.
Thanks so much, guys. And shout out to our new sponsor, Aim High Hemp Distribution. Make sure you guys check them out. Check out Tested, all of the great products that they have over there. We appreciate you guys very, very much.
Big shout out to Aim High.
And Jason and I are free agents. We chose to leave CAA now that they have brought Joe Biden on board.
Geez, stop it. Did they really?
Sam.
What a terrible choice. What a dumb choice for them.
You got a fucking agent now.
Yes.
Actors need agents. Actors and clowns need agents. That's how
how many we need you need somebody to play the dead body. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, he plays the corpse. He does play a good corpse. That's fair.
He's a better corpse than you can. Mm-hmm. Up next.
He does play a good AI robotics man too.
Oh my god.
Because he'll just say whatever he's told to say.
Anyways, up next, the highest Republican in every room, known for smoking the best weed in the world. And today he's not wearing a tie, but he is still very, very fly. Jason Beck.
Yes. Good morning. Oh man, Rico, what a day today, man. Let me tell you something. I got some fascinating numbers coming in this new numbers report. I think you're going to find this very interesting. And
I like numbers.
And I know Brian Dombrowski is going to find this very interesting because 62% of Texans support adult use cannabis legalization, including a majority, and this is for you, Todd, a majority of Republicans. That's right. Real, true Republicans.
Hard to believe.
Not those rhino Republicans. A new report from the University of Houston revealed the preferences of Texans regarding various cannabis-related policies. Texas lawmakers continue to be at odds with their constituency over cannabis policy, as the majority of the state's citizens support legalizing not only medical cannabis, but decriminalizing and legalizing adult-use cannabis, too. Specifically, 79% of Texans back legalization that would establish a full-fledged medical cannabis program for qualified patients to access the plant for a wide range of medical purposes with a doctor's prescription, according to a report released February 4th. That would be today by the University of Houston's. That's right, the Hobby School of Public Affairs, you guys. Furthermore, 69% of Texans endorse legalization to decriminalize cannabis for those 21 years and older, while 62% support legalizing a commercial marketplace for adult use sales, according to the report. Texas legislative issues for 2025, gambling and marijuana legalization, you guys, that's right. The majority of survey respondents across all political affiliations, genders, races, generations, education levels, and income levels supported these three cannabis-related policy positions. Look, they were very, very exclusionary with all of this questioning. Policy positions for these three cannabis-related issues were supported by the majority across all political affiliations, genders, races, generations, education levels, and income levels that were included in the university survey. For medical cannabis legalization in particular, every socio-demographic subgroup favored reform with 70% supermajorities or higher, you guys. And overall, there is a strong consensus among Texans with only two noteworthy socio-demographic subgroup differences in support of legalizing medical marijuana in Texas, the report authors wrote. The two subgroup differences are tied to religion and partisanship, and non-religious Texans, 88%, are significantly more likely than born-again Protestants, 70%, to support the passage of medical marijuana legislation, and 86% of Democrats compared to 75% of Republicans favor this policy. The report comes at a time when Texans remain one of the last permissive states in the nation when it comes to its cannabis laws. Under the state's compassionate use program, doctors are limited to prescribing low THC cannabis capped at 1%, while the program was initially limited to those with intractable epilepsy in 2015. Lawmakers expanded the program in 2019 and 2021 to include 9 qualifying conditions. Still, the 1% THC cap aligns more closely with the definition of hemp, as Texas remains one of 11 states in the country that continues to severely limit access to medical cannabis in a normalized sense. Georgia and Iowa also have highly restrictive medical cannabis programs, while 8 other states are absent of programs in total. In turn, products with intoxicating hemp-derived cannabinoids have exploded into a multi-billion-dollar marketplace in Texas, sparking elected officials' attempt to backpedal and reform by outlawing THC altogether. Not to mention, more than 60% of New Mexico's adult-use cannabis dispensaries have set up shop within 20 miles of the Texas border to play on the opportunity of Texas' less permissive cannabis laws, according to the Pew Research Center, you guys. But this border town action can be risky because Texans caught with any amount of cannabis face criminalization, and they may just be a bad hombre. Under current Texas law, possessing up to 2 ounces of cannabis is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 180 days in prison with a $2,000 fine. Possession of 2 to 4 ounces of cannabis is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail with a $4,000 fine, and possessing amounts greater than 4 ounces is considered a felony that carries a mandatory minimum jail sentence, you guys. Texans don't agree with these penalties, according to the University of Houston report. And in a quote, they say, while there are no noteworthy gender, ethnic, racial, or generational differences in support of the decriminalization of the possession of marijuana in Texas, there are salient subgroup differences revolving around education, income, religion, and partisanship, the authors wrote. And Texans without college or advanced degrees, with lower incomes, or who are non-religious are more likely to favor decriminalization, according to the report. Nevertheless, every single subgroup included in the survey supported decriminalizing cannabis. Meanwhile, born-again Protestants presented the only socio-demographic subgroup that did not favor cannabis legalization, with 44% of survey respondents backing that policy position. In comparison, 59% of Roman Catholics surveyed said they supported adult use legalization, while 81% of non-religious survey participants said they supported adult use legalization. After having provided their standalone evaluations of these 3 policy proposals, Texans were asked which one of these 3 policies was closest to their own personal preference, with a 4th option of maintaining the current Texas policies and regulations governing marijuana use in the Lone Star State, according to the report. When forced to pick one of the 4 policy options, 32% of Texans opted for the legalization of adult use cannabis, 29% for the legalization of medical cannabis, and 17% for the decriminalization and of the possession of cannabis, and 22% preferring the maintenance of the status quo in Texas, under which the sale and use of cannabis is illegal. Texas is one of 4 states where legislators only meet in odd number years, and this means there are limited opportunities for lawmakers to reform cannabis laws, with 140 calendar days left for legislative activity every 2 years. And Texas is also one of 24 states that do not provide for statewide citizen-initiated ballot measures, and if the state citizens wants their cannabis laws changed, they must count on their elected officials to get the job done, you guys. Well, big Texas, big problems in Texas, and big support in Texas, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
Well, if the people do vote for it, I think if the people do vote for it, which it looks like they will based on your article, I don't think the holy roller himself, Greg Abbott, would ever let it pass. He'll pull a Glenn Youngkin and veto it, I'm sure.
I wouldn't put all your
She gets
poker
permission
chips
from
on
Trump
that.
to.
I wouldn't put all your poker chips on that, Todd.
I don't know, man. He's a save the kids, save religion, let's talk about God kind of guy. So I really don't see him passing this. It's been.
Any Christian, Roman Catholic, any of them that want to go against cannabis, I encourage them all to read Genesis 1:29 and get back in touch with God.
Well, it's more Dan Patrick down there stalwarting the will of the people, and if they really want to be all about the people are speaking right now, and they said they want their weed, and they don't want this weed light shit that you can catch. You can find at all the gas stations. They need to follow the will of the people. They need to go forward with this, and I think if Texas comes through and with cannabis legislation, I can see them being one of the top, not just producers, but consumers too. I can see them catapulting way ahead of these other states. They're better at business. Their infrastructure is way better than everybody else, and they're just. I think they'll be a powerhouse. You know,
No, they do have a bit of a power problem.
they do.
Mhm.
They do. They have the people in charge are just are addicted to power and they don't want to give it up.
No, power, electric power is what I mean. I mean, their
The
grid,
grid, the
yeah, their
grid.
power grid is goes down all the time.
It's true.
Can it take the strain of a cannabis industry?
Um,
And
I
they
mean,
have
that's a good question. That's a good question.
I mean, and
Yep.
they have a political situation right now. There's a couple, very wealthy gentlemen trying to, put a lot of money behind their own efforts of changing the state government. And so, a lot of those things in Texas are rooted, as you saw with that 40% poll of the, I think it was like a newborn Protestants or something, which I didn't even know those existed. Um, that's the issue, is that most of the people there are tying this to some theological situation, and they're saying that, like, oh, my religion doesn't allow me to say yes to advancing cannabis regulation and reform in the state. So I mean, somebody's got to talk to these religious people and say, hey guys, like, this is a business, this is happening whether you like it or not. And if you don't allow it to be reformed, it's going to continue the way it's always continued. So I guess private prisons do well in Texas, and that might be, part and parcel to why they don't like it. But, or, they want to keep them jails filled. But come on, this is just one of those weird things that needs to stop, and we need to open up the eyes. So yeah, Jason, you want to stand on the corner with your Jesus Saves shirt and you want to tell people where to look? Go ahead, bro. But I don't know. I don't know if that's
go down there, talk to Joel Osteen, man. the king evangelist.
I'd have
that never
we would
the
have
king
we'd have a
evangelist
great
himself.
we'd have a
Dude,
great
give
conversation.
Joel Osteen a little cut of one of the grows, and he becomes a champion for
Well, you're
weed.
gonna have to, bro.
Mm.
That
Right?
private jet burns a lot of fuel,
I love a
Uh-huh.
good
Yes, no.
PJ.
Give him a little cut, and he'll be
Mhm.
your spokesperson.
Oh, that's cute. Well,
I
don't
do
Greg
think
Abbott is
that
gonna.
cannabis would thrive. I think it would absolutely thrive down there.
I
mhm.
think it would too, but I don't think Abbott will let it roll, if you know what I mean.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
You know, it'd be
If he
crazy.
lets me roll, they'll never get it done.
You know,
That's for sure.
it'd be crazy though if he started some medical programs and Greg Abbott began to walk again. That'd be fantastic, man.
That'd be
Brian,
awesome.
look at
Would
Brian.
be
Brian posted something hilarious. If you call it hemp in Texas, those religious people will listen. That's funny,
That's
man.
true.
I mean,
That's true. That's right. It's all him. It's all, you know what I'm
Oh, so
saying?
just change the name and everything will be fine.
I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? Just change the
and
name.
the tag structure and all that, yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah.
you guys.
So all serious in this though, I make a lot of jokes about this, but a lot of these blue state defectors are going down to Texas, man. Like the political climate is rapidly changing, so this could be something that becomes a major issue over the next couple of election cycles down in Texas, and we are actively seeing the purpling of the state. People are getting tired of
Texas is not
being
even
taken
close
care-
to becoming
Hold
purple,
on,
bro.
hold on,
Stop,
Jason.
stop,
Hold
stop,
on, hold on.
stop
Hold
this,
on,
this
hold on,
ridiculousness.
hold on,
This
bro.
fairy tale
Hold
world.
on, hold on. People down there are getting very, very tired of the bullshit that they keep on seeing from the top down, and it's only a matter of time before that levee breaks, man. Just saying.
Yeah, and I think it is a matter of time. I think there's a lot of things that need to change, but ultimately, the people of Texas definitely are speaking up. It's the regulators who are not heeding the constituents' concerns. I don't know. I mean, I think I think we all know deep down that there's way more at play than just people wanting cannabis to become legal, and that's what's holding it back. If it wasn't so wrapped up in money, obviously the whole world would be smoking cannabis right now. But that's a big problem, and it needs to get figured out so that we can advance our society, that we don't have to sit behind this red tape when we have an obviously, like, standardized industry now that's a pillar for tax relief and tax collection for these different cities and these different states that are struggling, that don't have any income coming in. Cannabis will be, a big boon to everybody's economy. It's already been proven
Right on.
many times. So,
Well,
get your shit together.
Jenny
And
Beck.
I want to give props to Donald Trump as well. You know, mark my words right here, Jason. Give props to Donald Trump because he is not a Republican. He is not. He's not. Oh, here's the thing, man. Like he is actively redefining the role of Republicans and Democrats. Democrats are in disarray right now, and
bro, they're in a
Republicans.
tailspin.
Yeah, oh, yeah, and Republicans
So great to watch.
what is a Republican, right? That's a real question. Like there are no like real standards. It's just like
I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that.
Let me finish.
Fact opposite.
Hold on. Can I finish my thought on this? What does it mean to be a Republican? What? Well, I'm gonna take longer because you keep on fucking interrupting me. God damn it! So, like, what does it mean to be a Republican anymore? I think it's open season for a lot of folks that want to come in there with new ideas that were not traditionally Republican ideas. And you can have people that might have classified as something else and come in there, and you can wreck shop. You can run as a Republican. You can be absolutely pro cannabis and change the tide. So, I hope somebody does that down in Texas.
Well, shout out to the C word who says Jesus is cool and atheists drool. You guys. Shout out to the C word. Thank you for that super chat, bro. Much appreciated.
Jesus was a socialist hippie. Jesus was a socialist hippie, just so you know.
Jesus was not a socialist. Stop it, bro. He was a free market capitalist.
Yes, he was. He was.
You guys are crazy, man.
Absolutely.
I don't know what world you guys live in, bro, but it's a fantasy world, that's for sure.
What do you do? Yeah, reality.
I live in reality, Todd. Right. We know you don't live in reality.
Oh, please.
You live in Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas is.
I've been living in reality
Vegas
way
is
longer
only
than
reality
all
for
of you
people that live in Vegas.
Oh, because L.A. That's reality.
I don't live in LA anymore. I live in Orange County. Big difference. Big difference.
County.
Yes, that is reality. Yes.
He lives in a red bubble.
Yep.
He does live in a white and red bubble.
I live in a baskin of freedom, bro. A baskin of freedom over here, Todd.
A fanny pack of freedom.
Until there's a fire. Until there's a fire or flood.
I mean, we don't have our electeds doing causing all that drama, doing all that extraness. You know what I'm saying?
Orange County is America's fanny pack of freedom.
That's right. That's right. It's not called Orange County for no reason, Todd.
Anyway,
let's
keep it rolling.
All right, we're gonna keep this rolling. We're gonna roll right in to the man, the golden voice himself. That's Mr. Todd Denkin. He's the founder of DigiPath Labs out there in the great state, silver state of Nevada, as well as the Smuggleverse, where you can buy all of your digital dank. That's right, it is another than Mr. Todd Denkin.
Thank you, Wilson. Thank you, everybody. I'll give you a second of applause here.
You got the applause already, Todd. You just can't hear him. I press the button every time.
Got it. Yeah, I can't hear.
I know none of you guys can hear them. It's going to be okay though. I promise that they're there. You went on mute, Todd. You went on mute.
No.
All right. No.
There we go.
There we go.
All right.
Trying to hit all those. See, that's why you don't need to be pushing buttons, Todd. Exactly why.
Right. My bad. Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. And Virginia is back in the news as the Virginia Senate passes a bill to legalize adult use cannabis sales. That's right. Virginia Democrats are once again teeing up a bill to legalize adult use cannabis sales that Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin has no interest in signing. The Virginia Senate voted 21-19 entirely along party lines to pass Senate Bill 970 last week, sponsored by Senator Aaron Rouse, a Democrat from Virginia Beach. Legislation aims to establish a framework for licensed and regulated adult use dispensaries, allowing those 21 years and older in the Commonwealth to purchase up to 2.5 ounces of cannabis. Under SB 970, the Virginia Cannabis Control Authority could begin issuing adult use licenses by September 1st, 2025, through a structured application process for retail, cultivation, manufacturing, transportation, and laboratory businesses. However, the bill provides that no retail sales may occur before May 1st, 2026. So they want to collect everybody's rent for a year, is what it sounds like. This bill prioritizes public safety and creating a well-regulated marketplace that keeps adult products out of the hands of kids, Rouse said last week on the Senate floor. The safety and security of all Virginians is a top priority of this legislation, and in recent years, we've seen the unchecked proliferation of illegal and unregulated marijuana stores that have put Virginians at risk as unlicensed drug dealers sell billions of dollars of untested and untaxed products, and frequently to children, he said. Senate's passage came as House Bill 2485 companion legislation sponsored by Delegate Paul Kryzak, a Democrat from Fairfax, worked its way through the lower chamber, where Democrats also hold a slim majority, 51-49. A push to create a licensed and regulated marketplace comes more than 3.5 years since a possession and homegrown bill signed by former Democratic Representative Ralph Northam went into effect, allowing Virginians 21 and older to possess up to 1 ounce of cannabis and cultivate up to 4 plants in their private residences. However, those in the Commonwealth have nowhere to legally purchase adult use cannabis that's been tested for mold, pesticides, heavy metals, and other contaminants, unless they travel to another state that has more permissive cannabis laws, such as bordering Maryland. A well-regulated marijuana retail market is a necessity for public safety and will ensure that products are tested for safety, accurately labeled, sold in controlled environment, and kept away from kids, Rouse added. This bill requires seed-to-sale tracking, detailed testing requirements, and secure transportation protocols to maintain security at every level. In addition, the CCA would be tasked with setting up a level playing field to ensure the geographic diversity of adult use licenses. Under the legislation calls for up to an 11.625% tax on commercial cannabis sales. That would be comprised of an 8% sales tax from the state, a 2.5% local sales tax, and a 1.125% state sales and use tax. After accounting for the CCA's expenses of running a regulated cannabis program, the net profits from the tax revenues collected would be appropriated as follows: 60% to a cannabis equity reinvestment fund, 25% to the Department of Behavioral Health and Development Services for substance use disorder prevention and treatment programs, 10% to pre-kindergarten programs for at-risk 3 and 4-year-olds, and 5% to public health programs aimed at preventing drugged driving and underage consumption. 2025 legislation comes after Democratic lawmakers passed similar legislation last year, entirely along party lines in both chambers, only to be defeated by a guy who thinks he knows more than the voters, Governor Glenn Youngkin. He vetoed it. His message back in 2024, Youngkin said he was worried that legalizing adult use sales would endanger Virginia's public health and safety. He also doesn't like the smell. Although Youngkin's prohibition stance hasn't changed and his veto threat remains, Kryzak said earlier this year that Democrats don't intend to give the governor a free pass on the important public policy issue. During Friday's floor session, Senator Adam Ebbin, Democratic from Alexandria, pointed out a few differences between the 2025 and the 2024 renditions of the legislation. Specifically, last year's bill called for 40% of the tax revenue from adult use sales go toward funding pre-kindergarten programs. Notably, Ebbin and Senator Louise Lucas, also a Democrat from Portsmouth, sponsored the 2021 legislation bill that Northam signed. That bill also intended to create a commercial marketplace for sales. However, it included a reenactment clause for certain provisions. The problem was that Democrats lost their trifecta in November 2021 election, and the sales provision was never reenacted. Ebbin said last week that the 2025 legislation tax revenue distribution ratios veer from the original intent of the 2021 law. He said, quote, "I just want to say that we have a strong need. We have a lot of kids on the wait list for pre-K. This is going to be a while before this bill finally makes it through the process. But I would hope that whatever is finally adopted, whether it's a conference report or if it doesn't make it through this year, that we don't tinker with that formula because we have a strong need for pre-K and it benefits lots of kids in the at-risk communities." Under SB 970, the pre-K revenue percentage is cut by 30%, while the state's Cannabis Equity Reinvestment Fund is increased by 30%. Cannabis Equity Reinvestment Fund would support people in communities historically and disproportionately targeted by drug enforcement, provide sponsorship and other educational opportunities, award grants to support workforce development, and contribute to other equity-focused programs. Also under SB 970, no county, city, or town hall would be allowed to adopt a local ordinance or resolution that prohibits licensed cannabis operations entirely without putting a ballot question before its voters. The governing body of a locality would have to, by resolution, petition its circuit court for a referendum on the question. However, local governments could regulate zoning and land use requirements for cannabis businesses, as well as setting hours for when dispensaries could sell cannabis products, according to the bill. Municipalities would also have local control to prohibit cannabis use in public places, such as parks, playgrounds, and sidewalks. Cultivation licenses, as it relates to canopy structures, would include 5 tiers, with limits of 2,000, 10,000, 25,000, 45,000, and 70,000 square feet, according to the legislation. The CCA could issue up to 50 licenses for each of the first 2 tiers, up to 10 licenses for the 3rd tier, up to 5 licenses for the 4th tier, and up to 10 licenses for the 5th tier. Outdoor cultivation would be limited to the first 2 licensing tiers, while indoor cultivation would be allowed for all 5. State's 5 existing medical cannabis operators, known as pharmaceutical processors in Virginia, could also open 5 adult use dispensaries that are co-located with their current medical cannabis retail facilities, according to the bill. I'm Todd Denkin with High at 9 News, and do we think Virginia will pass it this time? And will that Republican governor veto again? Or will he listen to the will of the people? I think he will not listen to the will of the people, and he will veto it again, and then maybe that'll cause him to lose his office next term.
You really think that'll cause him to lose his term? Stop it.
I don't know. Some people are one issue voters.
He protected all the mama bears, bro, from all those woke school ideologies that they were trying to enact out there.
Oh, Jesus. What does woke mean to you, Jason? What does woke mean to you? You use that word a lot.
Yeah. Define it, Jason. Define woke. Define DEI. Define CRT. Define any of this stuff. Any of this culture war.
Define it all. I'll define it all in one word for you. Trash. Please. Trash. TRASH. Trash.
Woke means empathy, just so you know.
No, it does not.
Empathy is
trash.
Not.
Woke, no, it's not. Empathy and compassion.
Yeah, empathy
means
for other people.
Compassion means empathy.
Their lives.
Tons of compassion. Right. I've given out compassion every day of my life.
Woke is live and let live. That's not what you guys want to do.
Not.
You guys want to live under my rule.
Not even
do what
close
I
to
say,
that.
not what I do.
Not even close. That's the Democratic rule.
Todd,
Rico, you're Virginia expert over here.
Yeah. So as the I stay on the beat of Virginia politics and everything. I talk to all my people, my family back there, and all. So Glenn Youngkin came in at just the right time, and Northrop was struggling, and they came out. He had one too many blackface photos from back in the day, and lost that re-election campaign, and they suffered.
That was bad timing because now that's all okay.
Right, exactly. All he had to do was. All he had to do was call it fake news, and he might have been reelected. Right. Exactly. The funny thing about Virginia, though, man, I think Ron DeSantis, he had an easy path into reelection because of the elderly that are down in Florida that are just diehard Trumpers down there, and Glenn Youngkin is a very different situation, especially all of the chaos and disarray that's going on with the government workers right now. I think that's going to be a major factor heading into this next election cycle, and you might see a landslide with Glenn Youngkin just like pushed out of office because the facts don't really support anything that he's pushing forward, man. They had both chambers of government when he first started off, and they said that they were going to do this and do that with the cannabis industry out there. It was going to thrive, and it was going to be a big box market, and they just couldn't decide on how much money that they were going to get paid off of it, and they couldn't come to an agreement with pushing anything forward. So nothing was done. The trap is still thriving out there. You have people still buying bootleg products left and right, and it's going to continue to be that way. And unfortunately, the people are just going to suffer. They're going to continue to suffer down there. And Virginia could be a very, very, very profitable market if he just listened to the will of the people. Yeah. If they just put politics aside, he could be seen as a hero here, but I just do not. I don't see him doing it.
I agree. No, they're going to change the Virginia slogan to "Virginia's for haters, not for lovers" anymore.
Oh man.
I mean, yeah. It's this. This is what happens though. It's when the government doesn't, when the local governments don't get their shit together, then Virginia Beach Meach thrives, and that's what's going to happen there.
Yeah, it could be a very, very, very profitable market, but they're just missing out. They're missing out, and it's all because of this culture war bullshit. And I really do believe that we are reaching our tipping point on that shit because people are suffering. People are making less money. Prices continue to skyrocket, and it's only going to get worse because of these bullshit tariffs that are going on right now.
Oh.
To be honest, like I feel like everyone missed the plot on that tariff thing. I mean, I think it was a threat to get everyone to the negotiating table.
Exactly, it's a negotiating tactic. You're right, Saman.
Yeah, it seems like it's working, but like
hold on. It seems like it's working. Like, how is it working again?
How is it working? It seems like everybody is trying to negotiate. Is what the point was.
Exactly.
Like Mexico, Canada. I mean, they're actually negotiating with Trump now, much to their dismay. They don't want to, but they are. They've
agreed to what was already in place.
No,
yeah, nothing has. Here's the thing. Yeah, nothing has changed, but the stock market continues to crash.
Let's see what happens.
For no reason.
Give it a week. Let's see what happens.
Oh no, he put it on pause for 30 days. We're all on the edge of our seat, right?
Hey,
well, he does other shit.
It's a bunch of unnecessary bullshit, man. It's unnecessary bullshit, and all it does is strain relationships with our allies.
It does not strain the relationships.
His MO. His MO is I am here to strain relationships.
That is literally totally ridiculous, you guys. Totally ridiculous.
That is literally who the guy is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
we
don't
have
be
a
surprised
Guatemalan on
when
the show. If anybody's
apples.
listening, come get this Guatemalan.
You said we have a guacamole on the show.
Hold on. First of all, avocados are no longer called avocados. They're called Americados now.
Oh my god!
Right. And they're changing the name of New Mexico to America. Hear that?
I mean, we're changing the name of Canada to Northern America.
How is this helping Americans?
How's this helping Americans? What
really
do
helpful?
This is all 100% helping Americans. What do you mean? Stopping fentanyl coming across the border? All of this is all helping Americans.
Changing the name?
Yeah, fentanyl was already down. 5,000 more troops. 5,000 more troops. 5,000 more troops were brought to the border under Joe Biden without this bullshit trade war, and you're calling it a win. I'm saying like this is not helping the American people, and continuing to do stuff like that, like I said, is just straining American allies' relationships.
I totally disagree with your assessment.
Look, the only thing down regards to fentanyl use is the fentanyl users themselves. They're actually literally on the ground. Like it's really a bad situation, and it needs to get cleaned up. But saying that Joe Biden put 5,000 troops on the border did something. They put
5,000 more. Hold on. 5,000 more than Trump just got. Like Trump's like, it's a win. They put 10,000 troops. Like Joe Biden got 15,000, and he didn't even start a bunch of bullshit.
Maybe that's because as soon as Trump took office, basically, and we changed the policies around, border crossings are down over 95%. Maybe Rico.
They were already down, Jason. They were already down massively.
Stop it, bro. You see the videos, bro. Stop
it. I mean, Rico's right, because once this whole scheme got like kind of uprooted and revealed, then it's like, oh man, we got to stop. And then obviously now they're just they just left all of those migrants that are like taking over schools, elementary schools in New York City. My friends' kids can't go to their school this year because that's who was occupying their school.
Okay, but
the U.S. government put them there.
Virginia,
just to be clear, the U.S. government put them there. Told the parents, you can't send your kids to school this year. I'm just saying,
Virginia.
It's ridiculous to like have this argument, though.
Shout out to Philip Zimmerman in the chat, okay? Who
Virginia
says,
Cannabis.
Hold on, Rico. Shout out to Philip Zimmerman in the chat who says Mexico and Canada folded faster than some Japanese origami.
Folded from what? They literally agreed to policies that were already there.
Let's
Uh-huh.
let's dissect it.
Well,
Every-
we don't have time
It's
for
the
all that. We're,
same, and like Rico said,
we're already
it's
way over
literally
time. We're going to go
5,000
to our next
Virginia
commercial,
troops
and we are going to be
and
right
then
back,
used
you
to be
guys.
there. Your boy got played because he tries to be a bully, and all you got to do is bully back.
Just so you know,
These
hold on a
culture
second,
wars
guys.
are over, man.
I'm getting a error message when I try to play the commercial, so I am unable to play the commercials today. Apparently,
Let's improv the commercials, Jason.
we're just gonna roll.
First one went
Stop
so
whatever
well.
you're doing. Make sure you smash that like button. I know we'll appreciate it. You'll appreciate it, and YouTube will appreciate it. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. And all of the articles that we cover on today's show, you can read directly on our website at www.highat9news.com. We're just gonna skip the commercials today, Anthony, because we're already over time. We're just gonna roll. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna keep.
I'd like to get a part in the next commercial if that's available.
We might
work
for that. The problem is though, Todd, is that you're only on Sundays, so we'd have to have an advertiser that only advertised on Tuesdays.
Well, you can invite me on the other days.
All right, you got to show up. All right, fair enough.
Are you up for the challenge, Todd?
Yeah. Are you ready, Rico?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm ready. Is Jenny Beth still with us? Is she with us in spirit?
I don't. Jenny, are you there?
Yeah,
Jenny?
I'm here.
Oh, she's there.
Stream is there. Yeah.
She's been quiet today.
There we go.
Yeah.
I think she's just at home enjoying the banter.
We don't have a face in the place, but we do have the mouth from the South, and she is here with us, audio only. The founder of Kind Cannabis Consulting and Just to Serve 501c3, here to break us off with another story for this Talk About It Tuesday. None other than Jenny Beth Dills.
And the crowd goes wild.
Yes. Okay. So, a veteran and cannabis business owner are suing the city of Colorado Springs after the city council voted to put recreational marijuana sales back on the ballot this April. Back in November, 54% of voters approved ballot question 300, allowing medical dispensaries to sell recreational marijuana. The city council members argue a revote is needed, saying voters may have been confused after rejecting a separate measure, ballot issue 2D, which would have banned retail marijuana in the city charter. Seems like it's pretty straightforward to me. The lawsuit filed by a veteran advocate, Adam Gillard, and dispensary owner, Renzi Waddington, claims the city's plan to hold a special election in April violates state law, which requires such measures to be decided in a general election during an even-numbered year. Gillard calls the revote an attempt to overturn the will of the people, while local cannabis advocates say the move is unconstitutional. The city has declined to comment on the pending lawsuit. I'm so glad that these guys have done this. Colorado Springs should feel ashamed of itself. It won't, because clearly it's a shameless place. But saying your voter and constituency don't understand what they were doing when they voted. When they voted to allow or allow recreational cannabis, and they voted to shoot down blocking it in their city constitution. Seems like they didn't fall for your trick the first time. This revote is ridiculous, and I'm glad that somebody in the community is stepping up and saying so. So I'll throw it back to you guys and get your opinions. This is ridiculous.
And Jenny Beth, especially the fact that it's in Colorado Springs and it's a veterans that filing this with such a high military population, I think is a big deal and just speaks volumes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, even more so though, it's a big evangelist, city in Colorado, and so that always has overspoken.
The focus on the family.
I mean, yeah, exactly, and I mean, Ted Haggard, the guy that started Focus on the Family, he was famously caught in Denver with some transgender hooker and a bunch of crack, and then was later.
He has a Hunter Biden story, huh?
He definitely has a Hunter Biden story. And then he was later forgiven by his congregation, and they allowed him back in to preach to them again. So I mean, look, it's all backwards again when you conflate cannabis use and theology, and you mix them together. You try to make sense of it. You're gonna end up with confusion. So I think the problem is places like Colorado Springs. It's the impact of the Focus on the Family plus the people running the local government there. I think the DA and the DA is connected to somebody in the state government that's actually very staunchly opposed to cannabis, and that's part of the problem is the prosecutions have continued there in Colorado Springs, and against veterans as well, and active duty members as well. So you can read up on stories on that. But like, it's sad that Colorado was the first in the country to go recreational over 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and we're still battling with one of the major cities in Colorado to just promote and to allow adult use cannabis sales to happen in their city. It happens right outside their cities on both ends, and so people just travel there anyway, and the city misses out on that tax revenue. And I'm not trying to make this a tax revenue thing. It's more of a social issue that they need to just advance themselves and evolve on. But the reality is they've been missing out on the dollars. So they're
They don't seem to care, though. They just don't seem to
well,
care.
I mean, they don't seem to care because they have money coming in from the
Federal
government.
government.
They're surrounded by the Air Force Academy. They have 2 Army bases down there in Fountain and in Fort Carson. So it's like these they don't have to really concern themselves if they don't want to with the hospitality or with tax revenue from things like cannabis. It doesn't necessarily affect their ledger at the end of the day, but it's an annoying part of my home state. So hopefully they get it together.
Yeah, and Ted Haggard is New Life Church. James Dobson is Focus on the Family, but Ted Haggard in 2022 was once again accused of inappropriately touching young men and methamphetamine use. So not a real leg to stand on coming from the evangelical base.